Hello everyone, I'm D-Mind, the mind of one and all, and welcome back to another episode of An Octave Higher. Right, so in the last episode, Frederic got in trouble with Libertad. He got into a fight with Libertad and he actually got knocked out. I expected him to like beat up the Libertad members and then get into a fight with Jixiang and then lose after that perhaps. But yeah, he got knocked out. And we don't even know what's happened to him. Like, now we're playing as Franz. And and that was yesterday, so we don't know what happened to Frederic after that. Hope he's alright. Yeah, he's most likely alright, he's the main character. Alright, and now we're in the conservatoire, still working on our research with Elise. Good morning, Franz. Good morning, Professor. Sorry to keep you waiting, Elise. It's okay, Professor Poe and I were just chatting. As it is already late, Elise and I begin preparing the experiment right away. Elise gulps down a bottle of mana potion while I'm setting up a number of measuring tools and other lab equipment. Late? You just got to the conservatoire. You just helped Arita carry the mini omnibus to a classroom and it's already late. Alright. Maybe you had classes beforehand, I know. Are you ready? Yeah. A kindly compassion aura radiates from Elise, her eyes fixed on shattered pieces of window glass lying on the desk in front of her. Amplify transform compassion. Nothing happens. I guess. The glass is still in pieces. I didn't feel anything abnormal when she cast her magic. All readings from the measuring tool show a regular revive spell. Let's try again. Okay. And... oh, you're casting it quite a few times. Not working. I wonder why it felt different yesterday. You mean when I tried it on the piano? Yes. It's already almost noon, there is no time to waste. Oh, it's still noon, like you still have the other half of the day left. Professor, I want to bring Elise to the factory again. Yesterday we couldn't record any data because I left all the instruments here. Really? And also you were interrupted by Frederic a bit, but yeah. Do what you must, young scholar. You need not ask permission. Thanks, Professor. Let's go, Elise. Okay. Would you do me a favor? Sure, Professor, what can I do for you? The Professor hands me a paper on which he had been writing until a minute ago. On your way, please deliver this to Geoff Godwin. I examined the paper, it has my handwriting on it, with some corrections by Professor Poe, and his signature at the bottom. Isn't this the budget plan I made a few days ago? Yes, Geoff wanted to know how the research fund would be used. I see. I'll stop by the Lord's mansion on my way home from the factory. You're gonna find Frederic has not returned home and be like, oh no. Please do. With Elise's help, I take some measuring tools, though we still can't carry the big ones, and leave the factory. After eating lunch in the cafeteria, Elise and I head to the factory. Once we've arrived, we immediately head to the piano and start preparing for the experiment. This time we have some equipment from the lab, so we'll be able to measure data more precisely. Oh, the place looks a bit different when it's daytime, as opposed to like sunset. Elise stands next to the piano, same as yesterday, and casts a spell. Amplify transform compassion. That feeling occurs on the first try. That's strange. Mistaken belief that suddenly arises in my mind, where I'm convinced, utterly convinced for a moment that the piano has been fixed, but of course it hasn't. That's weird. The story mentioned this a few times, like when she used it on the piano, you are sure you heard a sound and that the piano is repaired, but then the next thing you know, oh it's not, it's still broken, and you think it's an imagination. It's just your imagination, yeah. Kinda weird. The readings from the measuring tool show abnormality, but nothing that I can make sense of. I take note of the numbers for later analysis, yeah. Abnormality is a good thing, isn't it? Then you can study what makes it different. I urge Alice to keep going. Amplify transform compassion. There is that bizarre feeling again. no matter how many times I felt it, no matter how certain I am that the piano will remain broken, for that instant when the magic is cast, I am positive, without a silver of doubt, that the piano had made a sound. Maybe it did. Maybe it's like an instant thing. So it's like, for that moment, then it goes back to normal. It's only a moment later when the light of the magic fades that I know that there hasn't been any sound. The measurement reading surprised me. Once again, they show results completely different from when we did in the lab. But they also don't look anything like the readings I got from the first spell Elise cast a moment ago. It's as if the results were strange just for the sake of it or being strange, irregular, illogical, inconsiderate. Elise continues. Well, that's good. Now you're getting data, like different data, and then you can analyze each of the different times. Again, more strange results. Different from results in the lab, different from the previous 2 sets of readings. And it's already evening. When we are done with today's experiment, the piano is still mute. The sun has already turned red in the west. Why won't you sing? Alice is slumped at the piano, attempting awkwardly to give it a hug. We did get some data. I may be able to learn something from it. To be honest, I don't know how much I'll be able to learn from the data. At a glance, it looks like gibberish to me, but I need to keep Alice's spirit up or we may never be able to unearth the underlying pattern. Well, yes, it would be difficult, but data and results are data and results, and you can analyze them. Probably have a reason behind everything. That's how science works. My assurance seems to be working. Alice gets up from the piano and faces me with renewed vigor in her glittering eyes. Really? Will I be able to revive the piano after you studied the data? I'll do my best. Will I be able to revive the piano after you've done your best to study the data? I don't know. Hopefully you will. Piano. Oh. While Elise is still whimpering like a small animal, we hear footsteps from the grassy path that leads to the backyard. Oh. Oh, it's Jude? I think that's her name. Elise? Elise and I turn to the direction of the voice and find a girl around my age, looking as tired as her dirt and dust covered sweaty factory uniform. Jude! Elise, I heard you resigned from the factory yesterday. What happened? Why didn't you come and see me? What are you doing here? Jude, I'm sorry. I wanted to see you yesterday, but anyway, I'm fine. I'm now working as a research assistant for Franz. Research assistant? Franz? The girl's gaze is fixed on me. She observes me with suspicion, clearly written on her face. Hi. I'm Franz Byron, a student at Conservatoire d'Ouverture. What do you want from Elise? Her accusatory tone contrasts with the anxiety in her gait as she slowly puts herself between me and Elise, like a scared doe who forces herself to be courageous in order to shield her fawns from a lion. Jude, it's okay. Franz isn't a bad guy. He's helping me repair the piano. The piano? This thing? The girl meekly points her finger at the broken piano. Yeah, Franz is researching a way to repair it with compassion magic, so we're helping each other. Elise, you can't fix a piano with magic. Yes, we can. We're already making progress, I think. Elise. She glances at me, unsure of what to say, before continuing to speak with Elise. Elise, we're pros. We don't mix with the bourgeois. You can't be a bourgeoisie. Yeah, that's bourgeoisie. And that's bourgeois, yeah. But I didn't consider myself a bourgeoisie. That's right, because you are just a factory worker. Come back to reality, Elise. There's no happy ending in this, you know. Why not? I'll make my own happy ending if I have to. Alicia's determination stands in stark contrast with the other girl's obvious concern. While Elise is getting double pay with whether she gets results or not. If she doesn't get results, then, well, she can go back to the factory and get double pay for whatever she's been working in France. So that's good. If she does get results, then she might be rich and famous, you know. No, Elise. The girl smiles, but her smile looks sorrowful. Happy endings are a luxury. And the thing about us pros is, we can't afford luxuries. Take care. She stares at me again with a mixture of anxiety, suspicion and confusion before turning away and running back along the path. I'm sorry, Jude. The girl Elise calls you Jude has already disappeared from our view, but Elise is still staring into the emptiness left by the girl. Your friend? My best friend. The way she talked about us pros, and we kind of thought that, I don't know, she might be a libertine. Jude was the one who talked her boss into letting me work at the factory, even though at the time I was only 11. It's a man's policy not to employ children under 13. At 13 years old, Jude had already started working at the factory herself. The boss said that if I couldn't perform at work, he would not only fire me but also Jude. But Jude was willing to take that risk because she had faith in me. I don't know what would have happened to her if she had been fired from the factory. Her parents had passed away and she was living alone. I did make a lot of mistakes in the beginning though, so Jude always had to clean up my mess and ended up working much harder than she should have. She was only 13, Franz. The red of the sun is reflected in Elise's droopy eyes. Why did you have to work at 11 years old? She told you, remember? Her parents disappeared one day and then she was kicked out of her house and then, you know. Because if I had a Madame Bonvoi would have made me pay for my living expenses by working at her brothel. At 11 years old? Or perhaps working in another way, like a cleaner or something like that. Like, not exactly servicing customers, but oh well. Her life must have been difficult. I've always felt that Elise's magic is really strong for a girl her age, but now I know that it's because this girl has been using magic to earn a living since she was 11. Magic is her only means of survival. Magic is the only thing she could depend on to save herself. Hey Franz? What is it? Could you take Jude as your assistant too? Elise pleads to me with sorrow in her face, the usually bright smile nowhere to be seen. Don't give me the choice, this is such a big decision. Take Jude as my assistant? I don't need another assistant, that's for sure. Jude wouldn't be any help for my research even if I hired her. But I could probably make some things up just so that she could be a research assistant on paper. Even Elise isn't actually an assistant, that's just what I call her. So yes, I might be able to help Jude if I really wanted to, provided that we got Professor Poe's approval. There is a small chance that I could help Elise's best friend, which would no doubt make Elise happy too. Oh, don't give me the choice. Okay, but I'm sorry Elise, my research project is not a charity. Yeah. Is she gifted in compassion? No. Jude's traits are courage and faith. Then she can't be my research assistant, sorry. Disappointed, but hardly surprised, Elise forces a weak smile. Ha ha ha. That is too bad, but I understand. Thanks for thinking about it, Franz. Sorry, I wish I could help your friend. That's okay, you've really done so much for me. I'm glad I met you, Anarita. Elise's face is starting to brighten up, just as the orange sky fades to an ever-deepening blue. It's almost sundown, shall we go? I still have to deliver this budget plan to Lord Godwin. Yeah, let's go! You're gonna find out Frederic hasn't come home. We exit the factory, walk to a street in the city area, hail a taxi carriage and head to Lord Godwin's house. I hope Frederic won't be there. I don't know what I should say to him. Well, I made Frederic apologize the last time. It's already dark when we arrive at Lord Godwin's house. Just like last time, the butler shows us to a room where we are to wait for Lord Godwin. Elise seems uncomfortable when she looks at the piano, but she doesn't say anything. Before long, Lord Godwin enters the room. You know, aren't you worried that your son hasn't been home for a day? I'm sure he was knocked out. Maybe he went home, I don't know, but if he's knocked out, maybe he's captured by Libertad. Yeah, by Libertad. So, aren't you worried that your son hasn't been home for a day? Thoughts. He eyes me with the same disinterested look he gave me when I was here with Professor Poe, then shifts his gaze to Elise without changing his expression, then to me again. Good evening, my lord. Professor Poe wanted me to give this to you. He quietly takes the budget plan from my hand and briefly studies it. his eyeballs making small movements until they reached the bottom of the paper, where the professor had signed the document. He asked me tonelessly, "Anything else?" "No, my lord." He turned his back on us and stepped off to the door from which she entered earlier. My lord?" Hearing Alice's voice, Lord Godwin halts his step. Without moving his body, he turns his head to regard Alice with one eye, but says nothing. "My lord, is Frederic not here?" Finally, he turns his body and faces us. "No." "Do you have knowledge of his whereabouts?" "You mean you don't care? Or perhaps you do care, but you just don't ask us?" "Oh well." No. No, my lord, should we?" "I was told he went to the conservatoire yesterday. Did you see him at the conservatoire?" "No, because yesterday we were doing experiment at the..." "Huh? You haven't seen him since yesterday?" "No, I have not." "What? Frederic didn't come home yesterday? It was already getting late when he left us at the factory." "Franz, could Frederic have gotten lost in the Post District?" "I wouldn't bet against the possibility." Lord Godwin's right eyebrow is raised very slightly. Only very slightly. This is his first noticeable facial expression since entering the room. "The Post District? Why was he there?" "We were at the factory conducting research. He came to observe us." "I see. That's it? Aren't you gonna send, like, people to search for him?" The Lord leaves without another word. "Franz, what do you think happened?" "I don't know." "What should we do?" "Let's just leave it to the police. It's not like we can do anything." "But..." Elise hesitates for a moment, but soon finds her resolve. "I'll go look for him." "What? You don't even know where to look?" "Well, she's been living in a post area, but she did admit that it was like a maze, so she's not too certain herself. He's probably still somewhere near the factory, unless he's in the Libertad hideout, captured." "Please and if he's still hanging around, let's just assume he's still hanging around still yesterday, he then got in trouble with Libertad, how would he still be near the factory? Like, how does he survive?" "Well, I guess he has money." "Please let Rita know that I won't be home until late." Franz, you had to go out with her, right? Elise quickly sets off to look for Frederic. "Hey, wait!" The girl stops and looks at me questioningly. I don't know if we'll be able to find Frederic, but what I do know is that I can't let Elise go by herself. Although she knows the poor streets well, she may still run into trouble. "I'll go with you." "Yeah, that's what I've been saying." "Great, let's go!" And dots. It's hard to see anything in the dark, early at night, and Elise told me to refrain from using illumination magic. With my clothes and impeccable grammar, I stick out enough here as it is. "But you're not rich, you live like in a small unit in like an apartment, kind of, yeah. I mean, yeah, you have money to live, unlike, you're richer than the poor, but you're like pretty much middle class. Do they hate the middle class too? Like, you're not even like the upper middle class, you're the lower middle class. Oh well, you're just a student." Elise talks to the people on the street. They tell her that they haven't seen a bourgeois since today except me, but some of them remember seeing a bourgeois in very expensive looking getup yesterday around sundown. Who else could that be? We asked them where this person went. Unfortunately, none of them seem to know. A group of pros tells us they saw Frederic go into a certain alley, but later someone else says she saw him come out of the same alley. Either they are misremembering or Frederic was walking the streets randomly. Following whatever clues we could gather from the locals, we inch our way from muddy streets to muddy street, gloomy alley to gloomy alley, further and further away from the factory where we last saw Frederic. The pro's friendliness fades away with the light. Even Elise is now looked at with contempt and envy. Really? She's just a factory worker. In this neighborhood, many of these people seem to be even worse off than factory workers. Okay. But seriously, you're gonna fight among the poor like, oh, you're just a little bit richer than me. Oh well. Very few of those who are willing to talk anymore remember seeing Frederic. It's almost as if he had suddenly vanished. But he got into a fight. Well, I guess people don't want to talk about Libertad and the fight too much. Finally, we find someone who gives us a clear answer. Oh, that rich bourgeoisie? Ha! Nasty fellow, he was rude and foul-mouthed. Let me guess, the same guy that Frederic walked over yesterday. There's no mistake, that's Frederic, alright? I only asked him if he was fine cause he was shambling like the Walking Dead. You should have seen him. Oh, he was tipsy rascal to be sure. His face was as white as a sheet. I thought he was sick. So I asked him if he were fine, but then if the kid didn't pick a fight with me, used him some magic too, so he did. Had I some mana myself, I nullified his ego and transformed his nuts and staunch into a kudo. If I had known he's gonna use that kind of accent, I would have given him a different voice. The man grits his teeth, his ears red. Do you know where he is now? Oh, he's done for. Little rascal picked a fight with libertines. So he did. I was out for the count, mind, but ain't no chance he'd have made it out of here. With libertines? Why couldn't he have won? He's pretty good with magic. Unless he faced Jixiang or was outnumbered. The man sneers at me if it were an extremely dumb thing to have asked. Cause one of them libertines was Hendrix. He don't mess around none. Oh, the other guy. Yeah, he was actually pretty good. The one who is Tornado? Yeah. Who is Hendrix? If you don't know, best keep it that way, kid. Please tell us, mister, please. Elise looks up at the man's face with wide, wistful eyes, blinking a few times. As if charmed by magic, the man's gaze is drawn to Elise's puppy dog's eyes. He sighs. Fine. Man by the name of Theodore Hendrix is the leader of Libertad. The leader? He's the liberator, so he is. I want to ask, liberate from whom, but decide against it. Yeah, you can pretty much guess who they're fighting against. Where can we find him? Find Hendrix? Yes. Forget it, kid. Don't go looking for trouble, because he'll give it to you in space, so he will. Please tell us, mister, please. Get you home, little ones. You shouldn't be out here at this hour. Elise's puppy dog's eyes aren't working anymore, but I suddenly get an idea. Elise, give me your hand. Huh? I take Elise's delicate hand and hold it in mine. Hey, why be lovey-dovey all of a sudden? That's fine though, just be on your way. I whisper to Elise again. Let your compassion magic flow. Elise follows my instruction and fills her mana with compassion, focusing it on the palm that's in contact with mine. I do the same with intelligence. Transform on 3, 1, 2... Oh, he's gonna read his mind or what? Something? 3. Transform compassion plus intelligence. Wind plus compassion. Goes what? We both invoke the transform ability at the same time, compassionately and intelligently directing our magic at the proletariat man. The simple charm only makes someone temporary like you instead of directly manipulating their mind, but if they like you, they are more inclined to help you. Oh. I can't normally cast this spell because I'm not gifted in compassion, but together with Elise, I can. Oh, here you changed his mind to... You kind of... Yeah, you manipulated him to give you the answer, kind of. Huh? Elise, do the puppy dog eyes again. Huh? Puppy? Elise cocks her head while staring confusedly at me. Ask him about Hendrix again. Okay. Elise looks at the charm man. Please tell us where to find Hendrix, mister, please? With her puppy dog eyes. The man is quiet, his eyes unblinking, still dazed and dazzled in a hypnotic state. All emotion is gone from his face. His mouth stays momentarily half open until at last it lets out a voice kinder than that with which he spoke before. Fine, but you two be careful here. You can find Hendrix at Libertad's hideout. It's in the brothel. The brothel? Mission de Beauvoir? Or maybe there's another brothel. I know there can be multiple brotels, but... The brothel? Mission de Beauvoir, yep. It's over there. Just follow the street and then when you find... I know where it is. Thank you, mister. Not wanting to waste any time, we walk and head to Mission de Beauvoir. Elise leads the way through a dark alley lit only by oil lamps hung outside some houses. Wait, here the Beauvoir... Mission de Beauvoir is also the Libertines' hideout. But that's where the lords go to have fun, right? Huh? I'm confused. Franz? Elise speaks in a very low, timid voice, her cheeks painted crimson by the light of the oil lamps. Oh yeah, you ran away from there. It must feel weird to know that the place where you used to live is a criminal hideout. Well yeah, but Franz... With eyes downcast, she starts to slow down. It's okay, we're just going to find Frederic and get out of there, right? Yeah, but, you're still holding my hand. Oh. I look down, indeed I'm still touching Elise's small, nice and soft, if slightly cold hand. Sorry. I let go as nonchalantly as I can manage. The building stands tall and bright amid the dead quiet of the slum around it. Sounds of people laughing and mingling on the street combined with sounds of sinful debauchery coming from inside the building. This is the singing voice of Mason de Beauvoir. The vicinity of the building is livelier than other places. Who have guessed that a den of criminals lay hidden in the most conspicuous place in the whole district? Get out of here, Nvidia. Wait, yeah. Franz, what do we do? Do you know way in? I mean besides the front door. Well, there's a back door in the kitchen, but it can only be opened from inside. That's useless. Well, you can use it to get out if you can't leave through the front door. Why don't you just go in as a customer? It doesn't sound like an intriguing idea. Now what about Elise? They're gonna recognize her. Unless she stays out and Franz goes alone and scouts the place. No, I'm too attractive. I wouldn't be able to move freely without the girls fawning over me. I think you're half joking. I mean, you did talk to yourself that you are stunningly good looks. You have stunningly good looks at that night. Oh well. No, I don't think you have to worry about that. Ouch, that hurt at least. But in all seriousness, I can't go in as a customer because they're not going to just let a customer wander around by himself looking for a secret room. Yeah. Anyway, are there any other ways to get inside? Elise thinks hard with her hand under her chin, her eyes scanning the Mason building. I know, the window. We can go in through my bedroom window. Good, let's go. Elise leads me away from the front door, ambling down streets around the building until we arrive at a narrow unpaved path behind it. Here it is. I gaze straight ahead and the concrete wall gazes back at me. Where? There! It's up there, right? I mean, it's up. Of course, you live in the attic, right? I follow Elise's pointed finger with my eyes, trailing up along the wall 10 feet, 20 feet, and finally stopping at 30 feet above the ground. That's the roof. Look closer. Eventually I do notice a small window up there. That's your bedroom? That was my bedroom. I used to think that only rats and spiders lived in the roof. How do we get up there? You have faith, magic. I was hoping you know. Oh well, of course, I'm the magical scientist, so I must know how to break into hard-to-reach places at night. Yeah, using the power of science. Note to self, teach Elise to recognize sarcasm. Anyway, the window. Lucky for us, I do happen to know the right spell for this. Yeah, you have faith. What is your gifted magic trait? It's faith and something, right? I don't know what's your other one, I just know faith. Elise, stand in front of me and relax your body. Okay. With Elise standing in front of me, I extend my arms towards her and open my palms. Transform faith. Yep. Franz, you know it looks like you're reaching for... Oh! Elise's body starts to lift off, her posture unchanged, her feet no longer in contact with the earth. Obeying my hands' upward motion, wind carries her body up. Steadily and carefully I levitate Elise to the window. Once she is close enough, she opens the window and enters the attic. Well, at least she didn't lock the window. Using the same spell, I float myself up to the window and enter the attic bedroom. Alright, but I think this is a good place to end it. So leave a like, comment and subscribe, and follow me on Twitter at DMindGaming if you have enjoyed. And I hope to see you again in the next episode.